What's good, family? It's your man the YB, back once again. You know what to do. Let that like button off, subscribe, and massage the bell. Me to the bell, 100%. Oh yeah, and by the way, big love to Thunder's Productions for keeping that coin loyal at all times. That's what you must keep doing, 100%. So we got some breaking news right now regarding your man's Frank Snatch, yeah? Frank Bricktop Warren. Airing out Unrata, yeah? What's the Unrata's name? Ben Shalong, yeah? Ben Shalong, aired out by Frank Warren over the Joyce and Joseph Parker fight. Now listen, people who follow the channel religiously will know that I don't really cover the mid-level dons too much. Not mid-level, I think Joyce is top tier, but I'm talking about, you know, normally it's AJ, Usyk, Fury, Wilder, them top cats. I don't normally cover the middle cats, but listen, the middle cats right now, they're fixing to be the top cats, yeah? If Fury's gone, Johnston, bet as good as finished. Really, what have we got? I don't think Usyk's fixing to retire anytime soon. But it's 2022, who knows? So realistically, Joyce is up next, yeah? In fact, on that note, his WBA mandatory anyway. So if Usyk does win, it's going to be Joyce versus Usyk. Oops. So like I said, I ain't really covered these middle ones, but number one, Joyce is fixing to be a top dog in their day, and number two, this fight is one I actually want. Yeah, even though it doesn't have the fanfare of the Wilders and the Furies and the AJs, Joyce versus Parker was a banging fight. And then Parker went all weird and went to Sky. But anyway, let's explain the situation. In fact, you man probably know, but either way, 2 months ago, Joyce and Parker was locked in. It's been locked in. The fight was, the date wasn't out, but it was known. Both men have nowhere to go, realistically speaking. Yeah, Joseph Parker can fight Bumillion Shite, aka Dillian White again, but who trying to watch that? Ain't no one trying to watch that boring ass. Ain't no one trying to watch that. Yeah? No one. Old. We want a new one. We want to see how the real top dogs are doing, i.e. Joyce. Yeah? That's what you wouldn't want to see. Bumillion's washed up somewhere, yeah? Washed up, have an ass dude, useless dude. Yeah, weighs people coin. Luckily for me, I didn't get sucked in, but Bumillion, sit down somewhere. Ain't no one trying to watch that guy anymore. Dusty have an ass, good dude, yeah? You had your shot, and you're dusty now. Sit down somewhere. People like Dillian, they are what we call sit down somewhere, dons, yeah? Sit down there. Over there, sit down. And I'm trying to see if you should see any more from you. We ain't trying to hear no more from you. The way he behaved, yeah, and the way he performed, sit down in the corner and reflect on your behaviour, yeah? Sit on the stairs, 100%. Sit on the stairs until Papa YB tell you it's time to move. Reflect on your behaviour, Bumillion Shite, Mr. Shite, or Mrs. Shite, yeah? That's what he needs to do. But like I was saying, ain't no one trying to watch that. So, like I said, Joyce versus Parker, that's the one. 2-2s, Parker starts acting weird. Andy Lee's wife's pregnant, and that means all these kind of weird things. Andy Lee's wife's pregnant, so that means that I don't give a what she is. Yeah? She could be on the moon, for all I care. Get in there and fight, like you said you was going to do. Let's not forget that, people. Yeah? These are the guys who think they're doing, innit? Am I wrong? Is Joseph Parker a footballer? Or was he a boxer? Oh, he a boxer. Get in there then. Yeah? You're the one who sat down with Frank and said it was on. You could have been ducked and said, listen, Frank, I don't fancy Joyce. He the juggernaut. Yeah? And he already pushed back Daniel Dubois' wig. I ain't trying to get no, I ain't fancying that. Yeah? Joseph Parker could have been said that. He ain't say that. He strung us all along and then pulled a weird move. Anyway, like I said, the weird move got pulled about a month ago. Andy Lee's wife's pregnant and all these kind of weird excuses. Next thing we know, in reality, Joseph Parker has decided to sign with Ben Shalong, Sky Sports. Obviously, that was about, like I said, a month ago. In the last month, Joyce has decided to move on. Now, I'm not impressed with the fight Joyce is going to have against, I don't know, some next bummed on. Yeah? Christian Hammer, is it? I don't know. But either whoever it is, no good. Yeah? Joyce fighting someone who's no good. Is it his fault? No, but still, he no good. Yeah? I ain't going to lie to no one. It's not Joyce's fault. Joyce wanted the best fight, but still, I mean, as far as replacements go, Joe Joyce is fighting a standard replacement Christian Hammer. Still, that don't do nothing for the fans, does it though? Not his fault, but still, I ain't gonna lie, yeah? Whether it does something for the fans or not, it still don't mean I'm gonna tell any lies. The fight's a bum fight, oops, yeah? 2-2s. In the last 24 hours, Ben Shalong came all on the video, Mr. Censor in interviews, in an interview, leaked the news that he'd sent a 1.2 million offer to Joe Joyce. Yeah, Joe Joyce. Too many damn Joes. Yeah, Ben Shalong leaked the news. He sent a 1 million offer to Joseph Joyce, to Joe Joyce, for the fight with Parker. So, unless you've been, it's weird, isn't it? 1 minute Parker ducking the Joyce fight, and now with Ben Shalong, he won the Joyce fight allegedly. Now that's where you were all pretty much caught up now. Now, as I said, that was a shock to me, because it don't really make sense, does it? You ducked Joyce, and now you'll say you want Joyce. Anyway, but either way, before I give my opinion, let's see what... Now you man are caught up with where Frank came in, yeah? Mr. Bricktop. At this point now, Bricktop, Frank Warren, has just heard Ben Shalong all in the video talking about, yeah, we got 1.2 million offer for Joyce, and we haven't heard nothing. This is what Mr. Frank Bricktop had to say. He said, laughing face, how not to make a fight. Number 1, get everything you want in a contract and then not sign it. Number 2, sign with a broadcaster that the guy you want to fight doesn't box on. Number 3, make face-saving public offer for a fight you know can't happen. And then obviously, below that is the circumstances of the offer. Yeah, $1.2 million offer. Now, on Frank's points here, I mean, as I've explained, I want this fight. Yeah, and I understand, I mean, from the politics point of view, people are politicking, saying that, oh, it can't happen, or Frank's even saying, it can't happen now because Joe Joyce has got another fight. Well, I assume that's why. You saw there yourself. Yeah? Frank's not saying, oh, great, we've got a big offer and let's take it. He's saying that he's basically throwing it back on Parker and saying, well, we can't take this fight, and that's why you've sent the offer. Public face-saving. And that might be the case. Listen, at the end of the day, the fight was locked in. Yeah? We know this conversation here has nothing to do with Joyce ducking. No matter what happens, we'll know Joyce isn't ducking. Although, to be quite honest with you, I'd like to hear Frank explain why it can't happen. Yeah? Why not call their bluff? This may, if I know Joseph Parker, yeah, he don't want to take no real risk like that. He just don't. He'll go in there with AJ and get beat. He don't really want to go in there for low money or lower money and get beat. Yeah? He love coin, like most people do, but Joseph Parker's never been a risk taker, has he? Someone who's prepared to really earn his way. What's he really done? Let's be real now. What's Joseph Parker really done? What trails has he blazed? None. So I can't see him suddenly wanting to get in there with Joe Joyce. So nonetheless, or on that basis, why isn't Frank Warren all over this? Frank Warren, if I was managing Joe Joyce, yeah, I'll be all over this. There's no way Joe Joyce, well, from what I understand now, maybe if we find out yet that Joe Joyce was getting paid 1.5 million to fight Christian Hammer, then it makes sense. It's a low ball. If this offers a low ball, it makes sense. Why are you offering us 1.2 when originally, let's say for example Joe Joyce was set to make 2 million for the Parker fight originally, then we know there's no way the fight can happen. Because why would Joe Joyce be originally getting paid 2 mil and now Sky come with a 1.2 mil offer? That can't work. Yeah? But Ben Shalong implies the 1.2 million pound offer is actually better than what Joe Joyce was getting originally. Now, if that is the case, yeah, if it's the case that Frank Warren was paying Joe Joyce let's say call it 1 million for the original fight, and now Ben Shalong's offered 1.2, and I believe, to be honest, bearing in mind Joe Joyce has been played around, there should be no circumstances where Joe Joyce is now offered less if you're making a serious offer. It's a shame really Frank Warren didn't clarify this. And maybe Ben Shalong said that it was a bigger offer. So maybe Ben Shalong's telling the truth. And if that is the case, I'm sorry. As much as it's not ideal in business to be played around, I believe for Joe Joyce's career's sake, 1.2 million, that's life-changing money, folks. Yeah? That there managed properly, is life-changing money. Joyce isn't. If Joyce was 20, I'd say, yeah, whatever. Let him fight a bum in between and whatever else. Joyce, I mean, he's in a make or break time. He's like 35, 36. He ain't got time to be fighting more bums. He's fought enough bums. Yeah? So, yeah, is it great? Is it etiquette from Team Parker? No. But listen, at 35, 36 years old, just crack on. Yeah? Bite their hand off, say, listen, no problem, Ben Shalong, you played us around, or Parker played us around. Either way, we want to get in that booty of yours, yeah? Joy's got a nice, sweet, and got a nice, sweet Aussie booty, or New Zealand booty, yeah? Them down under ones, 100%. We're fixing to push them down under ones right the way back down there, and that's what you wanted, 100%, yeah? That's what Joyce should be saying right now, and it's a shame. A lot of these, and the thing is about these boxers, yeah, I ain't sure how smart they are, because a lot of the times people like Frank Warren and Ben Shalong and the managers, they rule the narrative. Meanwhile, the boxers just seem to be a bit dopey kind of thing. Because if I was Joyce now, yeah, I'll be on the blower to Fish Eyes and saying, listen, Fish Eyes, yeah, I don't know about all the other stuff. I'm 35-year-old and I need to get paid, and this is a good winnable fight. Get it sorted. Yeah? Now, obviously, the reason Frank Warren shut this down, in my opinion, again, I'm not blaming Frank. Frank's had good intentions throughout this, but in all honesty, Frank's being selfish. Frank's basically saying, number one, Joyce is a BT fighter. Why should I let him fight on Sky after you played us around? And number two, he's saying, well, wait there a minute. Joyce is set to headline my July card against Christian Hammer. That's going to mess that up potentially. Yeah? So, there's no way Frank Warren's going to allow Joyce to pull out of his next fight when they've sold tickets or whatever. No way. There's no way Frank Warren's essentially going to end up losing money. Although, to be honest with you, Joyce, yeah, is only fighting Christian Hammer. In my opinion, he won't take any damage in that fight. Relevance? Well, Joyce should be able to fulfill, I mean, assuming the fight's in July, Joyce should be able to fulfill his Frank Warren obligations and then schedule the Joseph Parker fight for September or late August. That'd still be, well, I guess I don't know, but September for sure. If Joyce fights July 15th, they can schedule the next fight for 6 weeks or 8 weeks later. Joyce will be super fresh. Assuming, now obviously, if he ends up in a war with Christian Hammer, then that's different, but assuming things go to planned, there's no reason Joyce can't get in there, smoke Christian Hammer's pack quick, and then have a rolling camp. And really, that's how boxing should be done. If you're taking a bum fight, there's no reason to have a bum fight and then treat it like a real fight. These cats these days, yeah, they have a bum fight and then don't fight for 6 months. So like, when you're fighting bums like Mike Tyson used to do, you go back to back to back to back. You don't fight a bum and then, I have a year off. No, I mean, you shouldn't be having a year off full stop. But if you're going to fight a bum, that should be, okay, I fight a bum, warm my legs up, and boom, 4, 6, 8 weeks later, back in there again. So why can't they organise that? And if I was managing Joyce, I'd say, listen, yeah, Team Parker, you've played us around. We've got obligations now for July. We ain't cancelling them, but we'll fulfil this offer in September. So that way we're both giving and taking some. I'm giving some because, well, you're giving some, as in waiting longer than you may have liked to have done. And then equally, I'm giving some because you've played me around before. That's what business is about, giving and taking. So I'm not sure. Frank didn't explain. He said it can't happen. Why can't it happen? I assume it's because... No, I hope it's not because of the BT thing. I hope it's not that. But then again, Frank Warren is not like... That's one thing I do respect and rate Eddie Hearn about. Eddie Hearn's never stopped fighters going cross-platform. Yeah? If one of Eddie Hearn's fighters... If one of Eddie Hearn's fighters, if the only way they can make a fight is by going to the other side of the street, goofy sounding line. But if that's the only way, he does allow it. Devin Haney was under contract. Eddie Hearn allowed him to go and fight George Bombosas, for example. That there's... Whatever we say about Eddie, yeah, I really respect him for that. Because if it wasn't for people like Eddie, most of these fights wouldn't get done. That fight wouldn't have been done, would it? If Eddie Hearn had the Frank Warren mentality of, oh well, you're under contract, so you'll be on BT forever. It's just dead. Make the best fights, man. And let's not forget, people, Frank Warren, as a promoter, you still make money, I believe. In as much as if Joe Joyce gets paid 1.2 on Sky, Frank Warren still gets his 10 or 15%, I assume. Now, if that's not the case, then obviously it's dead. Obviously, there's no way. Why would... Yeah, I get that part. So if doing the fight on Sky cuts Frank Warren out, I don't think it does, though. I don't think that's the case. I think Frank Warren will still get his cut from Joe Joyce. Now, if he doesn't get a cut, then I understand that. Why would you... If you've got a man under contract and you were going to allow him to fight and not get nothing for it, that there's a bit all over the place. Essentially, that would be cutting Frank Warren off and putting a whole bunch of coin into Ben Shalong's pocket. In my opinion, there should be some agreement on that basis, especially when Frank Warren was the originator of this fight. Frank Warren originated this fight, so they should be getting, in my opinion, Ben Shalong and Frank Warren should get a 50-50 split of the promoter's revenue. Bottom line, that's what I believe should be the case. Otherwise, it can't work. But then again, from a boxing purist point of view, I don't really care about that. From a boxing purist point of view, this fight should happen, full stop. Yeah, but it is a bit snidey, or it is very snidey of Parker, to run off and then try and essentially cut Frank Warren out. Why would Frank go for that? And that's why, really, from Joe Joyce's point of view, I feel he's almost in a position now where, why can't he be free range? Does he really need a promoter at this point? His WBA mandatory, don't remember? Well, don't forget. Joe Joyce, is a WBA mandatory. And, I'm not being funny, but what has Frank Warren really done for him in his career? In as much as Daniel Dubois seems to be the one who gets all the favours. Yeah, it's a bit like, for example, Joe Joyce beat Dubois. What's he done since? Nothing. But yet Dubois, who's been beat by Joyce, he got to fight for the WBA regular. Why didn't Frank pass that fight to Joyce? Oops. Yeah. So like I said, there's a lot of conflict in interest here. So, bottom line is, from a boxing point of view, which is ultimately what I care about, this fight should happen now. Yeah? Both sides need to work it out and make this fight happen. And Frank Warren, in my opinion, needs to explain what he means by, it can't happen. Why can't it? What's so stopping it happen? Explain why it can't happen. What's Joe Joyce going to be doing? Because even when, let's say, to be fair though, when AJ and Usyk fight, that's in August. Joe Joyce allegedly is up next. Now, I guess the whole undisputed thing, that might get injured. Yeah, realistically, actually, I was about to say Joe Joyce will be up next for the after August fight between AJ and Usyk, but actually, undisputed's trump mandatories. So Tyson Fury is most likely going to come back. That's going to be a 2-fight deal. That means it's going to be at least a year from August before Joe Joyce gets his shot. Therefore, Frank Warren, Joe Joyce, what are you really realistically going to be doing if not fighting Parker? Dillian White? Maybe, but who knows? You know what I mean? Parker's a solid one to go for. Yeah? Get a delay and make it happen. Don't bank on a miracle working out. Oh, but if we wait, we'll get the AJ, WBA. No, forget that. Focus on this fight, in my opinion. By any means necessary. Because Ben Shalong is correct. It's great if Joyce beats Parker on Sky pay-per-view. He'll go back to BT a much bigger, more of a household name. Especially if he knocks him out. Yeah? Not only that though, it's the raw opportunity. It's a decent name to get on your resume, especially if you stop him. Joyce Parker's never been stopped. I think Joyce should go in there with that narrative. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to be the first guy to pop this cat's cherry. Yeah? So there's a lot of upsides here. You get Joe Parker's scalp, and you get the Sky pay-per-view push. Make it happen. Bottom line, no doubt.